Comfort Inn of Pittsburgh offers a cozy, welcoming room with free internet access. Enjoy the indoor pool area year-round and wake up to a complimentary breakfast every morning. When staying at the Comfort Inn, you can feel at ease knowing that your satisfaction is the most important thing to us.
Hey, Bo, Eddie Lomchek with KKOW Radio. Talk about where you feel the offense is as a whole right now.
I feel good about where we're at. I think we're, coming together as a team. As an offense, everyone believes in each other, and I think we can get it done.
As a redshirt freshman, when did you find out you'd be starting?
It was the week before the first game. So going into our last scrimmage, I'd been taking reps with the first group the whole time, every day at practice, and Coach Wells told me that I was going to be the guy.
What about coming out of Broken Arrow, big Oklahoma 6A? How much did you know about Pitt State or the MIAA?
I've known a lot, actually, because my dad is a football coach, and he was one of my coaches at Broken Arrow, and he, in the past, has sent several players from his schools here at Pitt, and he's always talked about them and talked them up really good.
What's good and what's bad about having your dad as a football coach?
Well, the good, obviously, is, you're always around the game. He's always got the little insights on everything from technique to overall schemes. The bad, there's really not much, except sometimes practice stuff comes home, but that's it.
After the offense struggled the previous week against Hayes, how good did it feel to go out and get off to a good start against Western?
It was an awesome feeling. That was our whole mentality. It's always been our mentality, even if it doesn't happen, like it didn't at Hayes. We felt like we could always come out as a fast start.
What's something that you guys have improved on, would you say, since that first game against Northeastern State?
I'd say the team aspect. We all know each other. We all love each other. We all trust each other, and that's the main thing that we need more than anything right now.
On offense, the rushing numbers haven't been there most of the year. Last week, nobody rushed over 46 yards. Is that something, as a line, you guys talk about what you need to do, or are numbers even something you look at?
We do look at numbers. It's a little disappointing, not to have someone rush very much, but we always look at that, and we want to establish ourselves as a run-heavy team, and when we don't, it's frustrating.
With that being said, how do you think that's going to change going to this next week?
We've always worked on the rushing game, no matter what, and we feel like we've gotten better at it, and it'll be a test against Emporia.
What are you seeing out of them, out of film, out of what you've heard?
They're a good football team. MIAA is the toughest division, toughest conference out of Division II, and you never have a bad team. And they're a good defense. They're just a good overall team.
I know you throw in the spring with the track team. Can you talk about being a two-sport athlete and then balancing that schedule?
It keeps you busy, keeps you out of trouble for the most part, I guess. So, it's a lot of fun. You never have, the saying, there's never an off season. It's really true with the dual sports. But, it's a good contrast. Track's a little bit more laid back than football is, and you always get to compete year-round.
Would you expand a little bit on for the most part?
What?
Staying out of trouble.
Staying out of trouble? I'd rather not.
Spencer, talk about the defense. The numbers continue to be very good. What would have been the biggest keys for you guys to play so well?
I think we play really good as a team. Linebackers fit well off the D-line. Secondary fits well off the linebackers. And, we're a real close group of guys, and we play real well together. I think we played real fast these last couple of weeks, and that's always what you want on defense: play fast, and everyone's going out there and making great plays.
Talk about against Emporia, spread it out, and they want to get rid of it quick. What do you see from them, and what will be some keys on Saturday?
Definitely, we're going to have to look at run-pass keys. When they're throwing quick, you got to recognize the pass keys quick and get out there to stop those 5-yard gains or so. And so we're really going to have to pay attention to our keys, and I think that'll help us a lot regarding that quick game.
You guys lost the last home game. What needs to happen to make sure that doesn't happen again?
We just need to be, I think we need to be more focused, and this is such a great place to play, but there's also always distractions coming into a home game, unlike on the road. On the road, you just go there and you play. Home, this week there's homecoming. They're revealing the new statue out there. So it's just limiting those distractions, and once you get on the field, just go from there and play.
Spencer, last week Disney went down. You guys ended up stepping up in the second half, holding them scoreless. Talk about how next man up really works for your guys' team. We're just gonna, whoever's gonna be out there is gonna play, and we're really just gonna go from there. Not take a step back.
How has the mentality changed since the Fort Hayes loss? How has that changed your mentality going on forward?
Now, we've always looked at a time, but now we really have to focus on that since, our conference is such a tough conference. You can't lose more than 1 or 2 games and expect to be in the playoffs. So now we're really focusing one game at a time, and it's almost just the playoffs. Right now is the playoffs pretty much for us because, you have to win every game on from now on.
Coach Jim Henry from the Globe. Have you seen much change in Emporia State's offense since they changed quarterbacks?
No. That's a good question, first of all. Their quarterback came in last week and went 30 of 37. It means 2 things. Number one, he's a pretty good quarterback. Number 2, it's their system's really good of what they're doing. So, no, they really haven't changed much. If there's anything, the only thing would be, maybe a few more shorter routes than normal. Other than that, everything's the same.
Has the offense changed much since you last played them?
Yeah, they're a lot more wide open. They do run zone read, but they like to be in 4 wide, and they've got a nice little system. They run some nice combination routes, really some routes that are really tough to defend. So quite a bit different than we've seen in the past.
So what challenges does that bring for you guys coming into this Saturday?
Well, for our defense against their offense, it'll be, don't get frustrated on them completing short routes, and, they get rid of the ball fast as well. So as a defensive lineman, you can't get frustrated if you can't get to the quarterback. And, it's one of those things, they're going to get a lot of plays. They get a lot of plays in a game. They're, upwards 80 plays plus. So, that's their system. That's how they do it. And, we just got to sit there and stay with our system.
So is this the case where you want to try and slow them down a little bit?
No, I don't think you can worry too much about it. I think you've got to just play your game and, hopefully force some 3 and outs, and then, be nice to be able to go on some extended drives offensively, obviously. But, the big thing is, I would think is a few more 3 and outs than we've had would be great.
Spencer mentioned, with homecoming and pretty much any home game, there can be a lot of distractions as compared to on the road. Is there anything you guys try to do to limit those distractions?
No, there's really not anything you can do. Yell like hell's tonight, and our guys will go to that, and we'll be there for a little bit. But, other than that, there's not a lot. We had convocation yesterday that we went to, but other than that, there's not a lot to it other than for us, other than knowing that what our job is, and that's to go out and play good on Saturday.
Has there been any difference between this past week of practice as opposed to after the Fort Hayes loss?
Yeah, I think offensively our Tuesday practice was much better this week than it was the last 2 weeks. And, there's a lot of things that can cause that, but sometimes, if you try to tweak too many things, Tuesday is more of an implementation day than it is, it's a learning day compared to a just doing the same thing day. And we try to do that every once in a while. And sometimes you got to be careful about doing that too much. And so, I think Tuesday was really good this week.
With the running game not where it has been in years past, how much more pressure does that put on Tony to perform?
Well, again, there's a couple of reasons for that, I think. It doesn't put any more pressure on us. It's just, we want to be able to run the ball in different areas. And, the first couple of games, we weren't as effective as we'd like to be in between the tackles. And so you got to be able to run the ball in between tackles, but you got to be able to run the ball to the edge. And it's kind of like throwing the football. You want to be able to throw the ball all over the place. You want to be able to throw your tight ends, your running backs, and distribute the ball all over the field and make them defend the whole field. And so that's part of it. And like I said, there's a couple of reasons why that happened. Sometimes it's defensively they, load the box up, and then, in a combination with one of our strengths with Tony is him throwing it around. So there's a lot of reasons to happen, but, I think we're improving that in that aspect.
Are you still confident in your running game?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We had a lot of running backs that played last week and all of them, graded out pretty well. And it's a nice thing is we've got some guys that we can rotate in.
With a lot of backs in the rotation, how are reps being split up this week?
Oh, during practice, kind of the same way that we did in the game the other day. I mean, we rotate people in and out, and go at it. We'll take a running back, and he'll play 2 or 3 plays, and next play in, we may have somebody that may be a little bit better at one thing or the other, and we just kind of break it up that way. But we rotate him quite a bit.
Jamal Tyler got his first touchdown. What does he bring to this team?
He's got a lot of speed. Jamal's got, he's a guy that got here late and just kind of learning the system. And, I think I said this a couple of weeks ago, but the more he gets comfortable, the more he'll play with what we're doing. And it was nice to see him get that touchdown last week. He's a guy that hopefully we can continue to get him the ball a little bit more and more each week.
Coach Lucas Davis on the Morning Sun. You talked earlier about Emporia getting up around the 80-play range. Are you worried about fatigue or anything for your players? Do you have a plan with player rotation as far as the defensive line goes?
Nice thing is we rotate a lot of people in the defensive line. We play 8 or 9, and then plus on the fact that having them at home, it gives us a couple more bodies available if we need them. And heck, we've got a couple of guys that we feel like we'd like to travel, but we can't because of the 60-man roster. So that helps, knowing that we've got some extra guys available. It's not going to be 95, I don't think. So the cool weather will be helpful also. But again, that's what they do is they try to get a ton of plays in, and you got to be able to respond defensively.
Is there anything in practice that you do specifically to help you guys get used to the amount of plays that they're around?
Well, if they're going to be no huddle, we do that every day at the beginning of practice. That's something that we kind of started last year. Is we go to May Day and do that every day for 10 minutes at the beginning of practice. So that's something that we work on every single day. So that should be helpful to our defense.
Will you have a new starting linebacker this week?
Yes.
And that is?
Colby Hall.
Colby Hall.
Yeah.
And he played the second half last week?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about him playing?
He made a couple of really nice plays. He did a good job for us. And, he's very, very competitive, comes from a very competitive program and knows how to play the game.
The Holiday Inn Express of Pittsburgh has flexible meeting spaces, complimentary internet access, a free hot breakfast bar in the morning, and an indoor pool that the whole family will enjoy. Come book a room at the newest hotel in Pittsburgh, the Holiday Inn Express.